Just what kind of angel did you send?
Some action movies don't bother pretending they're about anything subtle. They arrive with dust on their boots, blood on their hands, and a simple promise. Someone evil runs a town, someone broken walks in, and only one of them is leaving alive. Hellfire knows exactly what kind of movie it is, and it doesn't waste time apologizing for it. Before we begin, would you please support me? Subscribing is free and very important to me. Please subscribe for better analysis and more videos. From the first moments of its newly released trailer, Hellfire establishes a familiar but effective setup. A forgotten southern town, corruption baked into every institution, a sheriff who sold his soul, a crime family that owns the streets, and into that mess walks a man with nothing left to lose. Saban Films has officially released the trailer for Hellfire, a direct-to-VOD action film directed by Isaac Florentine, a filmmaker with a long history in gritty, no-nonsense genre cinema. Although the film was shot back in 2022, it's finally arriving for home viewing this February, and for fans of classic town-cleansing action stories, it looks like a rough but honest throwback. Stephen Lang stars as the unnamed drifter at the center of the story, a former Green Beret, haunted by his past and worn down by the weight of everything he's seen. He doesn't arrive in Rondo looking for trouble. Trouble is already there. The town is being slowly crushed under the control of a ruthless crime syndicate and a deeply corrupt sheriff, with innocent residents paying the price every day. What Hellfire does well right away is establish mood. This isn't a flashy action spectacle. It's dry, dusty, oppressive. The town feels sick, not dying, but rotting. And Lang's character recognizes it immediately. As he witnesses violence, intimidation, and exploitation, something in him snaps back into place. Not hope, not heroism, duty. When the law has failed completely, justice becomes personal. Lang's performance is the film's biggest asset. He looks convincing as a man who has survived too much and doesn't fear any more scars. He doesn't talk much. He doesn't explain himself. When he acts, it's decisive and brutal. Watching him dismantle an entire criminal structure piece by piece is exactly the kind of fantasy this genre thrives on. The villains are familiar archetypes but effective ones. A sadistic crime boss, a sheriff who traded morality for power, a town trapped between them with nowhere to run. Dolph Lundgren, Scotty Thompson, Johnny Young Bosch, Michael Ciro, Chris Mullinax, Natalie Canaday, Maurice Comte, and Harvey Keitel round out a cast that understands the tone of the material. Nobody overplays it. Nobody winks at the camera. This is a movie that knows restraint is more powerful than excess. Florentine's direction leans into physical confrontation rather than spectacle. Gunfights are sharp and purposeful. Hand-to-hand combat feels grounded and painful. This isn't superhero violence. It's workmanlike destruction, where every hit looks like it hurts. If the story feels familiar, that's because it is. Hellfire is absolutely a save-the-town narrative. It carries echoes of classic vigilante films and even draws comparisons to Roadhouse in its bones. A stranger enters a broken place. Order is restored through force. The town burns before it can heal. And honestly, that's not a flaw. This genre lives or dies on execution, not originality. Hellfire doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it rolls it with confidence. It understands that sometimes audiences don't want subversion. They want catharsis. The script, written by Richard Lowry, keeps things moving without unnecessary complications. The themes are simple but effective. Justice versus corruption. Redemption versus resignation. Whether one man can make a difference when institutions collapse. Florentine's background in films like Ninja Shadow of a Tear, Close Range, Acts of Vengeance, and Seized is evident in how action scenes are staged. He knows how to frame movement. He knows how to let violence speak without drowning it in excess. This isn't a prestige action film. It's not trying to be elevated drama. It's designed to be watched at home, late at night, by viewers who appreciate straightforward storytelling and earned brutality. It's also worth noting that Hellfire hasn't made the festival rounds. This isn't an awards play. It's a VOD release that knows its audience and aims directly for them. The trailer tagline says it all. This is a town of fallen souls, weak, defenseless, and reckoning is coming. Hellfire doesn't promise surprises, it promises impact. And based on what's been shown so far, Stephen Lang delivers exactly that. He carries the film with physical authority and quiet intensity, turning a familiar narrative into something satisfying through sheer presence. In a market flooded with disposable action content, Hellfire looks slightly better than average. Not because it's smarter, but because it's honest about what it is. Sometimes that's enough. Hellfire will be released directly on VOD platforms on February 17, 2026. If you're in the mood for a hard-edged, old-school action story about one man standing against a town's worth of evil, this one might be worth your time. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments. This is where these kinds of films come to life. Until the next story, stay curious, be critical, keep your eyes on the screen, and remember, every film you haven't seen is a new film.